don't know if I'm going to make it right now. I'm getting out of here. It's 11:32. Flight's 11:50. Alright, lucky me. Looks like I lost my flight. I'm on standby number 3. It says there's 13 people to come and there's about an hour and a half to go, so I don't know how good my chances are. I would just buy a ticket if I could, but it's pretty sold out, so hopefully I'm not going to spend the day at the airport today. Alright, let me tell you what happened. As you probably gathered, I missed the flight. Actually, it was just about getting ready to leave when I got to the counter, so I went standby on the next flight. So I went for the standby. I was number 3, didn't make it, so they put me on standby on the next flight. I got on the plane. It was the 3rd plane.
Don't kick us too hard. I mean, we're just going to do it.
Alright guys, I didn't make it on my plane. I actually got booted off the airplane for the first time because my drone. And what happened is the plane was full and they wanted to check it in, and I said, hey, Li-po batteries shouldn't really be checked, they're supposed to be hand carried. And then they kind of freaked out, and then the pilot said he didn't want them on his plane. So I got booted off the plane and now it's gone, so now I'm at the airport, and I'm not going to show his face because he's actually a really nice gate agent here. He's checking on some rules and stuff, see if he can get me on the next plane. So he's doing his best to be nice, and you know, everything's going to work out, I'm pretty sure. Otherwise I'll be renting a car and driving back home, and we'll see where that goes.
Thanks, appreciate it.
And all the overhead was full, so I couldn't check my drone with my batteries in it. So what ended up happening is I was near the back of the plane, so I went to the flight attendant and I said, you know, hey, I don't have anywhere for this. Do you have anywhere for it? And she goes, no, you're going to have to check it in. And that's okay. But one of the things I know is that according to the FAA regulations, I can hand carry all those batteries. So to have them as carry-on is perfectly legal. So the legal limit is 100 watt hours per battery. These batteries are around 81 to 83, they're much lower, so they're well within the limits of the FAA regulations. And the plane's completely full, getting ready to take off. Then all of a sudden, the flight attendant gets on the microphone and goes, hey, would the guy with the batteries please come forward? So I come to the front of the plane and she goes, you're a no-fly. I'm like, what does that mean? Well, that means that the pilots decided that don't want these batteries on here, don't want you on the plane, you got to get off the plane. So I went back to my seat, grabbed all my stuff, and then, so I'm standing there in the jetway, and she goes in, she talks, and she comes back, and she goes, nope, there's no way, pilot's not letting you on this plane. You're off the plane, you're not flying. In fact, we don't even know if you can fly at all. What's your name? You know, and then I was like, okay, you know, I respect that. It's the pilot's decision. You know, they're responsible for this plane and everything like that. You know, I'm not going to sit there and fight or argue. So I didn't argue with her or anything, but I said, well, can we talk to someone? So then they brought the operations supervisor over, and I started, she says, explain yourself here. So I explained everything to the operations supervisor. They contain under the amount of ion that you're allowed to fly, so they're well within the legal limits. I'd already gone through TSA and everything, and they've been dusted down for explosives and all that fun stuff. They were in a box, very carefully packed in a box. Terminals are protected. Everything that the FAA regulations say. I even pointed out the FAA regulations. He didn't want to look at the website. In fact, he said, you know, anyone could, you know, come up to any website and show you. FAA.gov, guys. This is the website that has all the regulations for passengers and airlines. These are the Federal Aviation Administration's website. So yeah, of course I made that up. So we're at the Southwest Airlines terminal in Las Vegas. I should add that, one of their hubs. And not a single one of the flight attendants knows the regulations, the carry-on regulations that we're expected to know. This is the you know, safe to travel list that we are told, you know, to go on there when you book a ticket. Even tells you in an email, go on there and check out the regulations, see what you're allowed to carry, what you're not, which I did. And everything was fine. Everything was legal according to FAA standards. Everything well within guidelines. But I was kicked off an airplane for trying to follow safety rules. Had I said nothing, she would have taken that bag, checked it in underneath the plane. I would have flown home, no problem at all. But I did safety. I took safety first and said, hey, it's safe to take these batteries out and me to hand cram. In fact, this is a regulation. So by obeying the regulation, I got kicked off the airplane. The airplane left by now. So anyway, the guy was talking, eventually comes back. And now he's looking embarrassed. I gave him a battery, by the way, and he took down all the information, serial numbers and whatnot of the batteries and checked it, checked all the regulations and found out, wow, these batteries are quite legal to fly. There's no problem with these at all. You're allowed to carry them on airplanes. Well, what happened is they reissued the boarding pass, and this was because of Ken, the operations supervisor, made sure, he actually stayed with me the whole time and made sure I was taken care of after this mistake. I mean, well, I didn't get any freaking fly miles or any money refunded or anything. But what he did is he sat there with the gate agent who actually didn't want to put me on the next flight because the next flight was full. And he actually told the guy, make sure he's on the flight. Then they gave me a B boarding pass where, later in the Bs where I could have had a problem with the same problem again with the overhead storage. So what he did is he gave me a pre-boarding, just a sheet of paper, an outline where I could pre-board as a member of the media with a camera. And then he also made sure that this gate agent called the other gate and let them know. So, hey, thanks, Ken, for taking care of me after all this mess up. And here's advice I have for you. If you're, a drone pilot or whatever, you're carrying your batteries, your legal batteries, make sure they're legal. Don't take batteries on there that are not legal. In fact, if they're not, you probably won't even get through TSA. But anyway, if you're carrying them and you've noticed that you're back on the boarding list and the plane is full and there's a chance you're not going to get in the overhead carriage, what I recommend you do is take your batteries out of your overhead, put them in a small bag, purse, whatever, something that you're going to carry on your person and that you're going to have with you, that you're going to be able to put under your seat or whatever, then everything's perfectly safe, everything's perfectly legal. Do not bring their attention to it because these guys don't know what to do. And you, like me, could end up getting kicked off an airplane, embarrassed in front of almost 200 people, stuck at an airport when I'm already exhausted. By this time, I got a 6:30 flight out. I was supposed to fly out at 11. I just wanted to go home. So here's the thing that I'm concerned about. I'm concerned about the fact that not a single one of those flight attendants, not that pilot, none of the gate agents, no one at that Southwest operation knew the legal requirements for what you can and cannot carry on an airplane. That has me a little bit concerned.